No.
No. So the thing is, we do away with that one so that we just rely on primary data, and even the media houses and everybody and all Kenyans. Let's stick to the facts.
It does not work like that. It does not work like that. The frequency from here to the...
If I understand my colleague here,
just a minute, the frequency from here...
He's actually saying that even media houses are somehow compromised. Because I'm simply asking myself a question.
Media only beams. Media only beams.
I'm actually asking myself a question. That whatever we are saying here now, is it the same thing that the viewer is getting? That's the question.
We are not sure.
Okay.
So they could get algorithms between us and the viewer.
Okay. I've hosted you, so you will be so sure whether whatever you'll be saying here is true.
I normally go and watch it again.
It's interesting. Another thing that the IBC is talking about is the KIM system remained part of the electoral system. I think this was part of a system of enhancing the electoral system that we had. Remember the KIM skit?
Yes.
Okay, exactly.
Yes.
It's going to remain the same. And then the results, management rules is also going to change. It deletes key provisions governing presidential results verification. All right? And I'll get you more details. But even as we talk about that, the advancement in terms of having the electoral system tamper-proof and having more faith in the independent body has been something that it's been work in progress for a very long time. From 2007, remember, we had, Kivitu Commission.
Yes.
People went to the street, and, there are some changes that we had, all that. We went to 2002, and now we are in 2027. The leaps and bounds that, as a nation, we've made, taking some of them off that system, do you think is going to make it better or even worse? Let me start with Oscar.
Let's get back to Kriegler report after 2007 political violence. But Kriegler said that technology alone cannot solve our problems. Because human being and human interference is also part and parcel of. Those things are managed by human beings. And now what they're doing here, even for us to solve a lot of things, KRA, blah, 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 yes, we've solved them because of removing so much human interference. What they're doing here is removing the RO, returning officer, from sending a different result from the primary data. And because they've realized that the problem, that is where the problem is. So we're going deep into the problem. But don't send in, don't key in the wrong one. And if you're not keying in, tuma kwa WhatsApp. Hiyo ni check umeandika. See, piga picha ya check and alafu nitumie kwa WhatsApp. I'll see that you've done it. But just writing to me figures, I'm not sure if the figures that you've written are the same figures that were verified. Well, who verified them? The agents verified. So tuma kwa WhatsApp your picture, send me the video, give good evidence of what you're talking about. But just writing things, as the RO has been writing things, then we live stream it, and then KBC and other broadcasting houses stream the same things. We've been streaming wrong results. In future, and I've told you in future, what we should do away with, and what I think, the illegal thing in these things, which I've always talked about in this station, the illegal place, the bombers of Kenya, the police that thing.
ILOG actually proposes that the tallying center should be abolished.
It should be abolished because the election has ended.
And then, where will it
ended in the polling station?
If ILOG plays a very key role in the electoral system.
Yes.
Okay. So if the National Tallying Center is abolished, and we're not speaking on their behalf, we're just doing analysis. What should be the overall point where the presidential results will be picked?
What is done in other jurisdictions, for example? I'll give you. For example, in the US. US, what is done is that the media can always call it. And Victor, who is seated here, can say, if Donald Trump wins Texas and takes California, then he's won.
That's a different.
What I'm saying is that as much as when the results are there, and for people to know, anybody can get to know what results they are. Yes, anybody can get to know. When Raila Odinga and the rest in ODM were saying that they want to make their own tallying center, not just to make the tallying center because they want to declare the results, but they want to know. So by the time Raila Odinga and the rest goes to Supreme Court, they already have the results.
Okay.
But this time round, Raila Odinga and his team went to Supreme Court, but they didn't have results to counter what the IBC is saying. They needed their own tallying center to have the results. not to declare the president. But they have the results. Where are the results? The results are in the IBC portal. You don't have to go to Bomas to get results. So because Bomas results are wrong.
Okay.
Because Bomas results are results of an algorithm. Because Bomas results, there's Jose Camargo in the Bomas results. So anybody should be able to go to the portal and get the primary data, and you can tell.
Oscar, I know you're widely traveled. Have you been to Todonyang?
Yes, I've been.
Beacon 1, Uko Ju.
Yes.
I've
been there.
And you've seen those people. Do you think they're in a position to download that form? No, I'm just asking. For a matter of national concern, do you think they're in a position, Todonyang or Todenyang, the other side of Ethiopia, to download that form and say, this is it?
That is why Todonyang votes, for example, candidate A, who runs a campaign, a big campaign center. In the campaign center that you run, for example, presidential candidate, you have the tallying team, you have the communication team, you have the what team, you have the bloggers team, you have very many different teams here. For the person who is voted for them in Todonyang. But expecting everybody to get the results, what we are querying is that the person in Todonyang should not just get results and they're not the real results.
Okay, help us to square this, because who should we trust? The bloggers he's talking about, the media that you're talking about,
the primary data.
The primary data, which is okay,
34B.
Which is fine. But where's the central collection point?
Victor,
portal, IBC portal.
We joke a lot. We actually joke a lot with the document that we have in the name of the Kenyan Constitution of 2010, which clearly spells out the roles of everyone as far as an electoral system is concerned. What my colleague is saying, that we should do away with the tallying center, I don't find it to be reasonable. For the simple reason that the Constitution tells you to do A, B, C, D, but you choose to do X, Y, Z.
The Constitution doesn't say that, doesn't talk about tallying center, does it?
It talks about transparency. So how do you achieve that transparency? How do you achieve that transparency? You know, Victor, the devil thrives in darkness. When IEBC is striking out transmission of the results, they are denying Kenyans. They are creating some room of darkness where Kenyans are not able to see.
They're not saying away transmission. They're saying live streaming.
IEBC should ensure that the rights as enshrined in the Constitution, including the right to information, are protected. They are guaranteed. They are realized as far as elections are concerned.
Yes.
What they should be doing is deal with that rogue returning officer who enters or keys in wrong data in a primary document. The problem is not the primary document from how it moves from the polling station to the national tallying center.
Some of them are in jail.
The problem is that one person who enters wrong results.
Okay. This is what the proposal says. The change is contained in Section 19 of the bill, which proposes to amend Section 39 of the Elections Act. The bill specifically states that Section 39 will be amended by deleting subsection 1G, and under the existing Section 39(1)G, IEBC is required to establish a mechanism for the live streaming of results as announced at polling stations.
Why are they amending?
That is what they're amending.
Why are they amending?
That is what the article
Why are they denying Kenyans the rights to information? Why are they infringing on the provisions of Article 86 as far as transparency, simplicity is concerned?
Live streaming should also go on even if they are wrong results. Should just have a live
it is them.
Okay.
It is them to provide.
The live streaming has been giving them the wrong results. So
it is
what
them.
You're saying
it is them to come
Kenyans
up.
must just get that information, even if it is wrong.
It is them to come with the right information
to give Kenyans.
And they're saying the right information is the primary data.
Okay. So, what do you think? Because the law also gives Kenyans the primary obligation to get information.
Yes.
So if they're not going to live stream it, so the question is, how are they going to get information?
Kenyans?
Yes.
I've said it for the fourth time.
No. IBC, what are they going to do to make sure that Kenyans get the right information?
The right information is get the primary documents, tally the primary documents, announce the results.
How do you do that?
You download those documents and announce the results based on the verified documents, based on the right information, based on the primary data.
Okay.
But live streaming is Jose Camargo. Live streaming
We
is
want to understand,
an
Victor.
algorithm.
Victor, we
you
want to
say,
understand.
Stop this thing because this thing is giving us too many spoiled votes. Stop this thing because this thing is an algorithm. Stop this thing because Jose Camargo is already the system.
We want to understand what is the problem with that result at the polling station and the results at the National Tallying Center.
The results at the polling station.
What happens in between here? Whose responsibility it is? Is it to ensure that whatever is in the polling station is actually what is in the National Tallying Center? That is the question that IBC need to answer. Yes.
Okay. Let me just take two comments here from the viewers. One, somebody called Charles Mbaka. Charles says that 2027 general election, the president will survive, but 60% of members of parliament will go home.
How does that have to do with whatever we are discussing?
That is his opinion. That is his opinion. Another one, we can blame IBC, media houses, the system, politicians, and their goons till chicken come home to roost. The Kenyan solution to election is as simple as the electoral system and the technology that is monopoly, IBC. We have the world most advanced money mobile transfer system, I think what you're talking about. It captures more Kenyans than IBC.
Yeah.
Use it, but create multi-layer monitoring system that can be as simple as live streaming. Leshao from Kajiado.
Even those money things like Safaricom and M-Pesa, they get hacked. They're not just 100% like, things happen in technology. And I'll tell you, for example, if trust is to trust, I will even propose something that is very traditional. That the Mlolongo system was even much better now. The Mlolongo system, like where was Mama Pale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We are going back to the old age.
Oscar, we are going back to 1992.
Yeah,
Old stone age.
that's what I'm getting. So we have to do this. For us not to go back there, let us see where did the rain start beating us. But the Mlolongo system was a very simple system. Our system is only problematic because the more you're going ahead, the more you're complicating a very simple thing. Don't complicate.
Mike, even that Mlolongo system, there was a central point where national
the problem
results.
that needs to be solved.
But the Mlolongo system, let me tell you.
Victor, the problem that needs to be solved is a question of integrity. That how reliable, how honest, how transparent is this person collecting the results?
Do you think the people, what we see on social media are people who have attended rallies? Is it real? Most of them are AI. This is technology. You're complicating a very simple thing. What I'm saying and what IBC is saying, but let's not complicate. The more you think, you're thinking too much because you're thinking in terms of technology. And I think the problem between me and you guys is because of age. I'm a bit older than you guys, probably.
He's saying that Sifuna does not have the crowd. You.
Okay. There's another gentleman who says, just a minute, Peter says, I think some of the media machines become faulty during the process, then they live stream wrong results.
Yes.
That's one.
Yes.
Another gentleman also saying that, good morning, Kenya. I think that the primary data is, as you guys are saying, is important for the knowledge of the general count.
Yes.
It nevertheless is at the various levels from the constituencies to the national tallying house, stamped and signed.
Yes.
It's final, I think.
It's final.
You know, Victor.
Thank you.
If your camera is faulty, it will either pause so that there is no movement which is happening, or the screen will go black.
We don't want to get where the camera is getting faulty.
So the question is, whatever that is being live streamed, because I believe right now we are doing live streaming.
Okay, let me ask you.
Yes.
So the question is,
who is doing live streaming?
This camera is here. This camera is here doing
for
live
IBC,
streaming.
who does the live streaming?
It is the media.
No. The live streaming that we are talking about is what is...
IEBC is doing transmission of electronic transmission of results. That is where the question is. That as they electronically transmit the results from the polling station to the National Tallying Center, the question is, whatever they are transmitting, Is it accurate?
I think Wakili didn't read this one. But what you are saying...
Okay. There's another point here.
There's another one?
There's another point here, which I think is very important. Speaking at the level of presiding officer, having had this responsibility before,
yes.
Once the results are collected and the forms signed by the representatives, they are sealed and taken to the next level for adding.
For adding. Right?
Final? Yes.
Yes. But that is again, talking about, because the presiding officer is accounting officer at that level. What he's saying, that those documents that are final, that are signed, are stamped, are the primary data that should be relied on. Make sure these documents get to the right place. Make sure we tally based on those documents. But if somebody else brings some data, which is live streamed, and we are saying that the interference in bringing that data becomes a problem. And we are saying algorithm, and we are saying Jose Camargo, and we are saying all these things.
Wakili,
we are setting up the country.
Oscar, I'll treat that as your final remarks.
Yes.
Wakili.
You see, what the Constitution is giving IEBC to do, or asking IEBC to do, is simple. As far as presidential results are concerned, the result at the polling station is final. That means that what IEBC needs to do is to ensure that whatever has been announced in Busara Primary School, polling station number 31, where Frank Nyamari votes, is the same result that is brought to Bomas of Kenya.
And that's the same results that KBC should live stream.
That is what
Back to Frank
that is what IBC.
in Busara.
That is what IBC. That is what IBC should be doing.
Now we agree.
Yes.
Okay.
We agree.
When it comes to other elections, which are not announced at the National Tallying Center, they are announced at the constituency level, those things. IEBC should do the same. That result is taken to the constituency tallying center and announced there the way it is. So the question that IEBC needs to answer is not the question of live streaming results for media houses. It is a question of ensuring that the vote at the polling station is protected. It is accurate at the National Tallying Center.
I've gone for election. Like in 2022, I was in the ballot for an election. What happened is this, that we had agents at the polling station. Then we had tallying agents at the center, for example, where the RO sits, who again produces another document. The document starts from 16A. This document is the registration document. It goes until 34B. You know, those documents that we call 34B, they don't start from 34B. They start from document 1. That is the process until it gets to 34B. That is the last document at Bomas of Kenya. So when you get the same document, they are produced based on those documents. Form 34B is produced based on Form 1. One is the registration application when you apply to be a voter. Okay. Then it goes all the way, but they're based on just the primary data.
Oscar.
And that's what IBC is saying, but let's rely on primary data, let's not rely on stream data. For example, when I ran for Senate in Sia last time, by 9 o'clock, I'd already known my conceding document was prepared because I've gotten the results. IBC announced the results after 2 days.
Because the constituency and other county and other positions is different from the national.
What I'm saying, anybody who is running for president should not wait for 7 days. They should be able to have the results by the evening of the national day.
And Victor, the simplicity part is the question of adding numbers. So, for example, in Busara, we have maybe 40 polling stations. So the question is, polling station 1, what did Raila get? Polling station 2, what did... And the question is, how many polling stations do we have in the country? All across the country. So that we add those numbers. That is how simple the results should be.
This is debatable. This is truly debatable. And I think even you as Kenyans out there, you are still asking yourself so many questions. Live stream or live stream. Oscar, you have your opinion, which is okay.
Which is the right opinion.
Exactly. And you also have the right to information, remember?
Yes, true.
As the same as that.
I also have the right opinion, which is also the legal opinion.
Which is true. So
and that is what should be that is what should be done, embraced. Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Accept apology from Gibson Gesore. He's rushed to court to attend to some urgent matters. Wakili, you know that when it happens. So yeah, we take your apology, Wakili. Asante sana for being part of the show. Oscar Monde, asante sana. He is a political analyst in the University Don. He's also a researcher, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Wakili, asante sana for coming. Frank Nyamari.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break. GMK continues after this break.